When it comes to filmmaking, some of the greatest achievements and accomplishments in cinema have not actually come from the perfection of an image. It's actually been the deconstruction. And if you look at a lot of really great movies now, a lot of the cool trends that are happening within cinema are the errors rather than the perfect image. Film is a very good example of this. Not actually like movie making, but film processing itself. If you look at the way we create films now, we have digital available, but some of the top filmmakers in the world prefer shooting on film just because of the gritty texture. It makes it feel real, it gives it a tangibility to it. One of the big things that was popular within the mid-2000s was lens flares. Now, for the longest time, filmmakers tried to get rid of that. That's why we have matte boxes on the camera, and now, let's get all the lens flares going. And what I want to talk about is actually error within your filmmaking and how that can propel your career in being more of an original artist. Here's the thing about error. It is more unique than the process of seeking perfection. If you have something perfect, there's a million things that have been designed to try and be perfect. There's a lot of, if you get for example, if you guys get a compass and you create a circle and you make that perfect circle, it's been done before. Perfect circles have been created, but if you did it freehand, you just got a freehand circle, you might get a weird oval, you might get a weird bumpy thing because there's ripples in the texture of the paper and all of that stuff. Those are the imperfections, and that makes that circle way more unique than the perfectly drawn one with a compass. Let me know if I'm not making too much sense here, but the pursuit of perfection is an unoriginal quality. But when you do something that is almost filled with error by, let's say, the look of film in a movie or the weird lens flares, those are unpredictable imperfections, and unpredictability can create some of the coolest stuff within film. I'll give you guys an example of a project that I worked on, which has created one of my favorite effects. A few years ago, I shot a country music video called Runaway Highway, and one of the shots that we got was we had the gimbal hanging out of the car. We were following this Camaro down this road in California. It looked really cinematic, and then while we were filming, one of the things that happened was the gimbal just died, and so it did this weird thing, and the cinematographer was upset, and I was annoyed, and it wasn't really fun because we had all this stuff going. But then when I brought it into production, I loved that weird flip down thing so much that I made that a style within the video, and that's actually become a primary style for myself for a lot of videos that I've been creating. So literally that small error not only created the style for that video, but also has implemented itself in a lot of style that I create. And this definitely comes from personal preference, but I love finding those little areas of error in my videos and then really seeing hey, does this work? Does this look cool? And sometimes it's throwing together a sloppy edit and watching it and being you know what? I kind of like this weird thing. Is those who despise error are those who are going to create cookie cutter content, because the thing that we believe is perfection is just the idea that someone else made up. It's not actually true. Perfection is just a bunch of people's perspective on something, but that doesn't mean it's concrete. Imperfection is just something kind of fun to play around with. So the next time you guys find an error within your edit, be that a weird whip pan that happens, maybe a lens flare flicks in, but if film grain, maybe you got a too high of an ISO for a shot, rather than looking at it as this is unacceptable, I can't use this, look at it as, could I make a creative solution to solve the problem that's bothering me? Because the creative solution to solve problems is the act of creating something new and original within your content. I'm gonna include a link to some of the videos that I've made in the description below for you guys to take a look at some of the movies that I've made, and you'll find areas, any area that you find you're like, wow, that's really unique, that's cool that Zach did that. Chances are it was me either trying to solve a problem, maybe there was an error on set, or me just enhancing a problem to make it a stylistic choice. Sometimes making the problem so overwhelmingly noticeable makes it style. It's those moments where we try to hide the error through crossfades, through trying to remove it in post-production, to try and hide it in the shot. Sometimes that's actually when you start to create something that looks really bad. But when you make it fully noticeable, you make those lens flares bleed into the shot, you make the film grain really crazy noticeable, becomes style over an imperfection that we're trying to hide. I did a weird head move there because I'm proving a point. But you're like, oh, but that's just in cinema, that's within movies. Think of one of your favorite YouTubers, or I'll just say mine, Casey Neistat. Casey makes it very obvious and prominent of the whole lens And it's the adjustment of the frame that a lot of filmmakers would try and hide, but him including it within his videos is actually a really cool quality. And I love the fact that you see him doing that. That's, again, that would, for some filmmakers, be seen as an error, and to his content, it makes it feel more original and authentic because you're seeing the process of something being created before your eyes. So again, if you're looking to be original and trying out new content, pursue a little bit more into the flaws and error rather than fighting for the most perfect thing, because maybe sucking a little bit is where the project will actually thrive. That's it. Wow, done, over, through, completely done. Christopher Walken is another guy who has a very unique accent, and to some may be a little weird.